it could take months to find work or a place to live. We didn't want to have any worries or deal with a mess back home. At some point in our planning, she began questioning to herself, not me, if she ever wanted to go back to our old life. She didn't want to work full time or buy a house and stay in one place after we got back. She wasn't sure what she wanted. She didn't think that she would figure it out talking with me, though. I told her that the reason that we were taking the trip was to figure those things out together, to see that we wanted for the next part of our life. I asked her why she didn't just get a divorce before she left, and she said she wouldn't have to do is behind our backs, or she would have had plenty of money without stealing our joint savings. She claims that she didn't want a divorce, that she wanted to live whatever life figured out. I told her that's not how marriages work. One person deciding for the other. In talking and texting with our daughter, her family, my texts and voicemails, she realized I might not forgive her. And she
just now realized that.
Yeah, and she's right about that. So she might have to visualize a future without me. This is where I had hoped she would say some stupid shit like she was going to squander all her money living in a van and taking travel vlogs, or met some guy that she needed to wire money to so she could open up an ice cream shop in Alaska. Instead, she wants to be a digital nomad.
The fuck?
Working part-time, fully remote, and living in new places. She tried to convince me to go with her, but I'll never be able to trust her. Plus, I don't love her anymore. Traveling like that for a few years doesn't sound bad, but she doesn't have a job or any work lined up. She's not in her 20s, and the way of living will get old really quick. No close friends, no family. I want her to make it work so we won't be here trying to get back to our lives. How are the kids doing? Our son wouldn't have seen us the entire time. She was gone anyway. He only responds to her with very short texts. Remember, he enlisted. So he told me that she wanted him. She told me she wanted to see him, but he said he was too busy.
Good for him.
And wouldn't be able to get away. He lives in the barracks, so it's not easy to excuse.
And you got to get like permission to leave base.
Right. My daughter stopped talking and texting to her. She's pretty upset. Her worry turned to anger, and when realized her mom wasn't having a mental breakdown, but it was just being selfish. If her mom was sticking around, they could possibly work through it eventually. I just care that my daughter is happy, so whatever she decides, I'll support.
Yep, good for him.
Number 2. She didn't spend all the money. She spent about half. I think she realized she needed to figure it out before she completely ran out of everything. Number 3. Did she sleep with anyone? I didn't ask because I really just don't care. Yeah. Asking would simply want her back, or it would matter to me. And even though I didn't ask, she claims that she didn't. Not sure if she's lying or not. She might be just saying that because she didn't want the kids or have another reason to be mad at her. Number 4. Does she feel bad for what she put us through?
Nope.
She claims she does, and she wishes that she had handled it differently. She said getting away and figuring herself out was best for her. I told her that she was just being selfish. Yep. She just left, and we were worried something would happen to her and we would never see her again. She's always been self-centered. Now looking at hindsight is 2020. I told her she's taking the easy route and letting everyone else handle the difficult parts. If she gets sick, kids will take care of her. Goes broke, she'll live with family. Abandon everyone, they'll forgive her. She thinks her siblings and our children will let her live with them like we let her mom live with us. I'm sure she visualizes her future. She sees our kids there. She might not be, and definitely not in the same way that they were before. Despite how it might sound, I'm actually really happy on how it all turned out. Our divorce was far from final, but we agreed on some big things. We'll sell the house and how to split the retirement and profit of the house, how to pay back the money she took from when I was maintaining the household. I got most of what I wanted in the settlement, and she'll soon be mostly out of my life. I won't have to pay alimony, and because she's choosing to make significantly less money than she was, I won't be forced to support her. That would have been a kick to the teeth. That would have been a kick to the teeth. She isn't my responsibility anymore, and I won't have to care for her if she gets sick or goes broke. I figured I'd start dating again, I guess. I didn't realize a 50-year-old man with children out of the house, a good job, and in decent shape would be such a catch. Listen, I'm not fighting off women with a stick, but I've had a lot more interest than expected. It's been kind of nice meeting new women. I've worked out the numbers, and I'll be doing pretty well after everything is settled, and I only have to support myself.
Good.
Not where I wanted to be at 50, getting divorced and using, obviously, this Reddit post as free therapy sessions, but I'm happier now than I've been in a while. I'm even planning a little vacation of my own. P.S. Thank you to everyone that responded and reached out. Right? I'm glad it was a well-rounded story on this one.
This guy, I'm telling you what.
He's a catch. I mean, he could have lost his cool. I think that's the moral of the story.
People that I'm going to say it again. And you know, I'm a
mental health is a weapon.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
I agree with you, Mel.
Oh, you're going to take me back. I have to sort myself out. You know what? You got to sort out. You got to get how you're going to sort your crap out of my house. The level of like narcissistic victim mentality of like lack of compassion. Use whatever freaking adjective you want to use that this woman had. Like, I can't believe people do this. You just completely, and people, you think it's okay. How do you're married to someone for what, 25 years or so?
Yeah.
How do you just wake up one day and you're like, I'm just going to go.
So let me ask you a marriage question, since I'm not married and you are. Can one person make a major life decision for the marriage without the other person's consent?
No.
Period.
You shouldn't. Some people do.
Yeah.
I don't think
because
that's right.
I mean, I'm trying to think of. I mean, I think of Brian Drogosh. He's the most wishy-washy. Can't make a decision. All left. I don't know. You know, pee on the pants. Like, I don't know. But like, you know, sometimes if I was married, I'd be like, I'm making this decision. Damn it. You know what I mean? Like,
I think it depends on what the decision is.
Yeah.
But I could never just like.
I mean, I just want to go back to the vows that people take in a marriage.
It does. Oh. Today's society is such a throwaway society. People don't honor vows anymore. It doesn't mean anything because people are like, I'll just get divorced.
Right. That's the truth. I mean, do the vows disappear when things get hard? That's what it seems like.
People let it go and then they're like, well, I'm just going to get divorced.
Just like, yeah, because that's an easier situation than actually working through something, right?
People, this day and age, man. Like, I'm so sick of these people.
I mean, do you ever fear justifying hurting people?
No.
No.
If you have to justify the reason you hurt someone, like, you're evil.
She's afraid of losing herself later, but I think that she's living in that fear.
I think she's selfish.
And that's what drove her out of this marriage.
I don't think it's fear. I think she's dumb. I think it's completely selfish what she did. She didn't give two
not even the children.
About her kids.
No.
About her husband.
Nothing.
She didn't care how's he going to figure it out to pay for this and pay for that. She didn't care. She didn't even care about her own family. She didn't even care about herself. She has no respect.
Yeah.
For anybody.
I mean, why do some people fall apart after an emergency is over like that? I mean, it's almost like they were holding it up for so long and then they just let it go. And that's exactly what she did. It was reckless. Don't you think it was reckless?
She just doesn't care about anybody else.
Yeah. I don't think that relationship is ever going to recover. I think he's definitely.
God, no, I hope not. I hope he never speaks to her again.
I hope he finds a real hot chicky woo woo mama.
Chicky woo woo.
Oh my gosh. Well, he can find some hot chicky woo woos over at Panache. Let's go. Let's take a break.
I can't even take a break. I can't. It's going to run in my head all day.
Every guest, every time. Since 1987, Panache opened its doors to be a cut above the rest. Their mission at Panache is to care for their team, their guests, and community from scalp to soul and bring the joy to the world one service at a time. The Panache difference is their carefully chosen and highly trained staff there to exceed your expectations. The same goes for their elegant salon space, dedicated to guest comfort and devotion to innovation and artistry. They're focused on making your day and continually raising the bar by aligning with Aveda's mission. You gotta get Panache.com and get with it, boo. Woo! Yeah, I might need a little vacation after that. That was a long one, but it was a good one.
I'm just really sick of people using mental health as a weapon to define their bad behaviors.
I think it's why it's important to talk about these stories.
It is becoming, I'm sorry, I'm going to get on my soapbox here for a minute. I won't stay here long.
I'm going to take a sip.
People are starting to use this mental health thing as like, it's like the number one excuse. So when people this is why people are skeptical about mental health and the stigma and all that.
Because people give it a bad rap.
They use it as a constant excuse for shitty behavior. And then it's like, well, does this person really have mental health issues? Or are they just like, can't handle life?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well, let's get into Is This News? We got 3 news stories. We're going to step ball change into this new energy here. We've got this first story here. Attack of the Golden Yak. They're clones, Mel. They're clones.
Oh, the clones.
China has launched its first kind cloning effort to help save a rare wild yak subspecies.
Whale.
Yeah, a whale. That may number fewer than 300 animals. They are not your basic barnyard yaks. These are side hustle in sweater production.
What?
Oh, yak yarn. Got it. We need to be talking about the golden wild yaks of Quang Tibet Plateau, an extremely rare, genetically distinct population living high in the mountains, where the air is thin, the climate is rude, and apparently the animals come in luxury metallic edition. The goal is not to create a yak army, although emotionally I would support that movie trailer, Tatanka. Scientists are trying to strengthen wild yak genetics and eventually help protect the rare golden yak population from inbreeding, hybridization, and shrinking numbers. Researchers have already sequenced thousands of wild yak genomes, produced cloned wild yak embryos, and recently managed to clone multiple yaks at once. If I can say wild yak one more time on this story, go
what's
ahead.
happening?
So they're cloning these yaks, so they're not going, for the inbreeding part. They made sort of like a new subspecies of yaks so that they can do the things and then make a new population.
So this is already a rare species with cutting edge science. So the problem is when a population of species gets so small, they become very vulnerable to disease, reproductive issues, and long-term decline.
Yeah, same with twinks in the gay community. Yes.
Cloning is not just about making a copy. It's preserving genetic lines that may otherwise disappear.
Right.
And this is the third point is it's a very big example of how conservation is changing. It's not just about fences, patrol lines, protected land anymore. These things matter. So embryo science, genome sequences, and frozen zoo, they are the things that are going to help us protect these animals.
So a couple months ago, back in January, I think we talked about Barbara Streisand cloning her dog.
Yeah.
Remember? And you had like a big attitude problem about it. But this is an idea of cloning this species so we don't lose it entirely. I think this is newsworthy.
Yeah, I think so too. I think
it sounds very sciencey, but I think I get it, and I think I enjoy this.
You're preserving a species. You're not trying to clone your animal that passed away. Two completely different things.
Right. Yep. Loud and clear.
News.
All right. Next up, seabird eggs, forever chemicals, and one tiny environmental victory lap. All right. Researchers are studying northern gannet eggs from Bonaventure Island, found levels of several PFAS chemicals, also known as forever chemicals, have dropped sharply over time.
Oh, that's good.
Some of the most commonly used PFAS dropped about 70%, and scientists say the trend appears on track with environmental regulations and chemical phase-outs. Now, Forever Chemicals is already a terrifying name. That sounds less like pop pollution and more like a villain in a cape whispering, "I shall never leave microplastics."
Oh, God.
These chemicals are used in products that resist water, stains, and heat, but they also stick around in environmental situations and have been linked to health concerns. The seabirds in this study were northern gannets, and the eggs came from Bonaventure Island, which is considered the world's largest northern gannet breeding colony. Because these birds eat fish, scientists can use their eggs like little environmental receipts showing what pollutants are moving through the food chain.
Yep.
I think this is kind of really good news. Get into this detail here.
So this study covered more than 50 years. That gives researchers a long view, not just a tiny snapshot. It shows the rise, the peak, and the decline of some of these chemicals over time.
Topeka.
The thing is, in the ocean with fish and everything, you have to be very careful because the amount of prescription medications, for example, that get people flushed down the toilet, that gets into the waterways. So these
Fentanyl.
fish, well, yes, sometimes. But
Flocka.
the fish and the animals and the wildlife, they ingest these things and then we eat it and it becomes toxic. So
Like
the fact
paint
that
chips back in the day.
this is being reduced, I think is huge.
I think this is a great look on,
Biodiversity.
We are doing good. We are making the right strides and being a little bit more environmentally
But I also
friendly.
think the fact that there's not a lot of people on this island where these birds are is definitely helping.
Interesting, yeah. And the birds are eating the fish, which the fish are going all throughout the land. Yeah.
So I agree with this.
All right. I think so too. They're 2 for 2 for, let's see if you got this third one. Booster clubs, bigger paychecks, and Friday night lights with a receipt. All right. Florida recently signed a new law aimed at expanding support for K-12 athletic coaches and student athletes. You might like this. One major piece allows districts to use funds raised by high school booster clubs to supplement pay for coaches and activity sponsors. It also gives districts the ability to classify certain athletic coaches and activity sponsors as administrative personnel with negotiated compensation capped at the highest paid school administrator in that district. Now, on the surface, that sounds simple. Coaches work hard. Coaches deserve better pay. Boosters want to help. Everyone gets a whistle and a better stipend. But Sonny's, this is where the marching band hits a minor chord. Because, I know Mel will like this, but while some people see this as a long overdue fix for underpaid coaches, others are asking a very real question. What happens when schools with big booster clubs can pay more, attract stronger coaches, and build stronger programs, while schools with smaller booster networks are left holding a clipboard and a prayer?
So I coached at Ponte Vedra High School for 4 years as an athletic coach for schools.
Which is a well-to-do school.
Correct. Well, when I figured out how much, I did the math on how much I got paid. It was negative 11 cents a day for everything I was doing.
So you basically
mean
volunteering.
You make nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. For a long time, specifically in Florida, the Florida school system, a lot of great coaches leave because you're not getting paid. However, Georgia, they pay more. So these schools recruit these amazing coaches we have down here in Florida, and they bring them up.
Is it because of the booster clubs being able to pay like that?
No,
or?
Well, they just have more money in their athletic programs in the different areas in the different states.
Yeah.
But they've lost a lot of really good coaches over there, so I think this is their shot at trying to retain them.
So tell us, are you impressed by this, or are you skeptical?
Here's how I feel about this. Okay, the booster club, the athletes pay into the booster club to do the sport.
Right.
So now, essentially, what's going to happen is they have to get that extra money from somewhere. So now the athletes and the families are going to have to pay more into the booster club.
Now I see what you mean.
Which I think is going to create a much larger issue with the
because it's all a scale, and where
everything is a trade-off. So if you think, yay, this is amazing, it's great. I'm not saying it's not, because I think it's great for the coaches who are still there.
This is why I wanted to have the chat, because there's some fine print here that we need to consider.
I think everything in life is a trade-off. I'm going to say it again. Just because they're doing this doesn't mean they're not pulling from here. Or it's not what you see in your face. It's back here that you have to pay attention to.
Well, let's be real. I mean,
I think they should get paid more in Florida, because there's so many great coaches in Florida with the school system. But if you look at the last 5 to 10 years, a lot of those great coaches have been there for 20, 30, 10 years.
Yeah.
They all left.
Yeah.
Because they're like, all this extra work. And yes, you have a passion for it and you love it, but sometimes you got to realize, like, your passion's not putting gas in your car.
Right. Yeah.
And you spend more time with your athletes than your own family, and at some point something's got to give.
Right.
So I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great concept.
I'm just worried about the balance, like the
That's
difference
what I'm worried
between
about.
Ponte Vedra High School versus Pedro Menendez. Obviously, Pedro Menendez has a little bit different of a booster club program down there.
I, in my heart, I feel like the Pedro Menendez will take better care of their coaches than some of the other schools in the county.
But hear me out for just a second. Whereas Ponte Vedra High School is a way more affluent, more wealthier section of St. Johns County, though those booster clubs are going to have deeper pockets. The Pedro Menendez is, they're scrappy. They make things work, and it's that hometown grown favorite. They don't have the bigger booster clubs to be able to pay these coaches. I think that's what I think in this article. It seems to be not fair. It seems to be there's got to be a balance there.
Why are you running it through the booster clubs? That's my question. You're going to pull from booster clubs,
which is community resources coming in.
You pay,
parents paying for
pay into it,
right?
Which already school sports. I don't know how all of a sudden it became these astronomical amounts of money these families pay. Anyway, that's why you do school sports. But why, Governor? Are we running it through the booster clubs? Why are you not creating? There's fundage. I've had this fight for years about the school coaches.
It's an interesting conversation.
The reason they put it through the booster clubs is because they had to run it from somewhere, and that just has a really good sound and look to it.
So this article, or this actually, when Ron DeSantis signed this into fruition, St. Johns County clapped back, and they are concerned with this regulation. They're monitoring this very closely. I'm interested in seeing which way the tide is going to turn on this, but I definitely think this is newsworthy.
I think it's 100% news.
I think we need to talk about it so that people don't get screwed in the end. That's
I
the
don't
truth.
like it's coming through the booster clubs. That's my problem.
Well, I know what you do like is a little bit of wine
Yeah.
at Bin 39.
Do it.
Bin 39, the hidden gem of downtown St. Augustine since 2016. This is your secret getaway to a fabulous time. It's tucked away inside the lobby of the St. George Inn, and this charming spot boasts a courtyard setting that's straight out of a dream at the north end of St. George Street. Their wine collection features over 85 unique gems, is a journey into the extraordinary. You'll find wines from both small and large producers. They're open daily from 8 to 8 and Thursday to Sunday from 1 to 7. You got to check them out. Bin 39.
Unbelievable.
It's not cheap.
All right, nothing is cheap. Nothing. My love don't cost a thing, J-Lo. All right, let's get into Hey Girl, Hey Horrible horoscopes. We got Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius on deck today. Libra, this week, closure arrives, but not in a graceful, candlelit way you imagine. Yours comes through a series of tiny humiliations. Your ex will accidentally like an old photo. Your phone will autocorrect, Maria, I'm healed to I'm hell.
Oh my God, yes, that is
We're
my
totally
mom's
used to that,
autocorrect.
yeah. And we'll see a car that looks exactly like it's parked outside your favorite coffee shop, causing you to spill an iced latte directly into your crotch like the universe is waterboarding your dignity. The stars want you to stop waiting for an apology from someone whose emotional intelligence could be outperformed by a damp receipt. Do not seek revenge. Revenge is beneath you. Also, knowing your luck, you would trip over the gas can, set off the sprinkler system, and somehow become the cautionary tale at a neighborhood watch meeting. Your lesson this week is stop giving your ex free rent in your nervous system. Evict him. Change the locks. Sage the hallway. And for the love of all things holy, stop rereading old text like there's scripture. Come on, Libra!
Yeah,
Scorpio, here's me. Scorpio, you cannot have everything that you want. This week, the universe is going to teach you to balance by dropping a piano of consequences directly on your little cave of avoidance. You've been spending too much time marinating in your own filth, watching emotionally damaged cartoon horses, ignoring responsibilities, and pretending that processing is the same thing as rotting in bed under a blanket that has seen more breakdowns than a 1998 Ford Taurus.
Some days I wish I could just bed rot. That's what the kids say these days.
Listen, people count on you, Scorpio, which is unfortunate because lately you've been about as dependable as a folding chair at a family reunion brawl. Jesus. You need to stop confusing intensity with personality and start combining something other than cryptic text, sexual tension, and general smell of emotional mildew.
Wow. Ew.
Your lucky omen is realizing rock bottom has a basement and you're currently touring the utilities closet.
Yikes. Roasted.
Sagittarius, your bad luck is but surgical this week. You'll get caught in a lie over something stupid. Your GPS will betray you and the worst intersection in town. You'll wave at someone who was waving at the person behind you. A door you will push clearly says pool, and somehow everyone will see this. The universe is not destroying you this week, Saggies. It's embarrassing you into character development. The truth is, you can't be magnetic, funny, brilliant, and impossible not to love, but none of that matters if the people see a forensic team trying to figure out where they stand with you. Your lesson this week is vulnerability is not a weakness, it's a basic adult maintenance. Stop treating honesty like a hostage negotiation and tell the truth before the truth kicks the door in wearing steel-toed boots.
Boom.
Woo! All right,
Sassy.
Sonnies, that's a wrap on this Thirst Trap Thursday. We chilled, we thrilled, we laughed, we thrived, and most importantly,
We survived.
that is the truth, especially that Reddit report, right?
Oh my God, I'm glad that guy survived. I want to punch his ex-wife.
Tell me about tomorrow.
Tomorrow's Friday, and
Yep.
tomorrow is the band's back together day.
Yeah!
She's here.
I can't wait for Inspo with Asheen.
Yeah.
We got two incredible hot topics that we're going to be highlighting and talking about.
Ooh.
You guys are amazing. Please hit that share button.
the show, friends.
We'll see you later, Sonnies. Bye,
Bye.
guys. Share the show.
Oh, just share the damn show.
All right, she's over singing now. Doesn't like it.
now because you're not sharing
Got
the show.
it.
You're making me
We'll
tired.
share the show. Sleepless nights.